Central Florida is a very solid team, very multiple on offense and and on defense. If you look at them, they're a team that doesn't beat themselves. They went up to Happy Valley and beat up Penn State, and then have had a very impressive comeback win against Memphis. So we know this. Our work's going to be cut out for us this week. We're going to have to play very well, and that's what we want to do is improve each and every week. And we're knowing that it's going to be a great atmosphere on Friday night. Our fans did a great job on Thursday. Expect them to come back out in full flow and get behind this football team and give us the energy and enthusiasm in the stadium that we need.
Charlie, there was perception nationally that you didn't win by enough, but you won. Did you get the sense that your players disappointed, or were they happy with the win?
Ken, the thing we have to do and what we have to realize here is we will never, ever apologize for a win. And I said to our football team, I said 4 years ago, we go to Rutgers, we win at Rutgers. I get dumped with Gatorade. We got to a bowl. We're 6-6. Now, 4 years later, we beat Rutgers, and it's not good enough, and we're 6-0. So it's all about us in the football team and making sure that we do it right way, and our guys knowing that they have to play well for themselves and for their teammates.
You said at the Governor's Cup luncheon, you said 2009 Florida, we were supposed to win the national championship. We were supposed to go undefeated, and we did not enjoy anything. That was like your biggest fear, was that we'd play well, but we wouldn't enjoy it. Are you having flashbacks to that? Is there any similarities to that?
Well, that's what you're saying now, because what is happening is that everybody think that we're going to go and blow all these teams out. And I go back to that game there on Thursday night, and we win by 14 points. We had to score late to win the game, but Rutgers is a good football team too, and so let's give them a little credit. Don't think all of a sudden because we have a quarterback who's a Heisman and they're playing so well on defense that we're just going to roll out there and go beat everyone. We're go and be very impressive in beating them. And I think that our football team. I guess I get this sense of who do people think who we really are, because, you think back 4 years ago, you get bowl eligible. The next year, you get bowl eligible. Then last year, we have a big year. And then this year, everyone expecting this team to all of a sudden just jump out and I don't know what they're expecting, but we're playing the way we're playing, and we're undefeated right now.
Coach, how important is it to have that extra day of preparation between Rutgers and Central Florida?
Oh, it's really important because last week was such a short week, and now for us to bounce back and get an added day that we really needed. Now that we have some guys that are banged up, that we can get them back and get them more into the training room. They can get in the training room, and then in our focus and preparation, we have an extra day for our coaches.
Anything on Devontae Parker?
Devontae is still day-to-day, and we're going to make a game day decision with him. And he's doing well. He's progressing well, and we'll just see how it goes. And we're going to try to get him out one day at practice and see if he can go out and practice well, then we're going to play him.
There's some uncharacteristic plays that Tim made against Rutgers. Do you think he was at all pressing because of the number of scouts or the national television audience?
No, I don't think Teddy gets rattled with that. He didn't make some throws, but I guess every time he goes out, we expect him to be perfect, but he's not going to be perfect, and people do have bad games, and I don't think so. One throw is who was it? Copeland was wide open. He throws the ball, over, throws it out over his head. But I don't think he gets rattled. I just think that, it's just one of those games where he didn't make the throws. He was 21 of 31 for over 300 yards. And we won the football game.
Obviously, his standard is very high. In your mind, was that average performance for him or below average performance?
I think that we have raised his standard, and I think that he plays up to what we want him to play at, but it's high for everyone else, and because he's such a Heisman candidate. But you look at some of those guys Saturday. I mean, I look at Johnny Football, and he didn't throw a touchdown pass at all. But they won the football game. We won the football game. You look at, I think that the guy, Georgia, was, 26 of 45 and he had 2 touchdowns. So I don't know if it's the standard. I mean, every quarterback, the standard is high because they're the quarterback and the ball is in their hands.
How do you grade his performance that game?
We won it, so I think he graded out a winner.
Coach, when you are playing a team that you are not familiar with, haven't seen before, how early did the preparation start in getting a little familiar with them?
Well, it could only start. We could only start after the game because we had a short week with Rutgers. So now we had to on Friday we were able to get going on Central Florida because now we weren't able to get the head start like we did with Rutgers because we had an open date and we didn't have we couldn't go back and look at them during the open date because Rutgers was such a critical game for us.
A lot of people think that they are a tougher opponent than Rutgers. What is your take on it?
Well, they're two different opponents. And you look at it, Rutgers brings a lot of pressure, and they create pressure. And it was a team that we were very familiar with. And now Central Florida, we haven't played them before, but they're very solid. You know, defensively, what they do is they don't beat themselves. They line up, they're very gap sound, and they're going to give up the big plays back in the secondary. And on offense, Bortles does a great job of directing the offense. Storm Johnson is an outstanding running back, and they have receivers. And the offensive line is a veteran group. It's a senior-laden team on offense, and defensively, they're still young, but it's a good football team, very good team.
You talked about when Jake said the other night last year, when we got to 9-0, some guys thought maybe they got a little too confident, overconfident. Did you feel like you learned from last year? Like you'll be better this year as you keep winning, if you keep winning than you were last year?
Well, I don't think anyone expected us to get to where we were last season compared to this season when everyone now they've placed us there, so they expect so much from us. And but I think the team is doing a very good job of handling it.
Are they still, I mean, like you said, it's all about, and you said this in the preseason, it's all about them staying focused, not listening to noise and having fun. Do you feel like they still are doing that?
Well, I told our players, I said, the only thing you can do is be the best on game day, be best preparation during the week, best condition team. Everything you have to do is go be your very best on the field as well as off the field. And if you do it, then it's nothing more we can ask.
It's been, I feel like you're having to defend yourself every week. So far this season, about the way college football works and the polls and all this stuff, have you taken anything away from that?
Well, it's not so much that I try to take anything away from it. I know this. I have a good football team, and I don't have to defend who we are because each and every week I tell our guys, just let your play speak for itself, and that's the only thing we can do. We can't, as long as you know within yourself that you played your hardest and you played for your teammates, that's the only thing we can expect out of you. And
Is it like you guys are doing a good job keeping them close? Do you ever sit there and just shake your head and go, I can't believe I'm having to deal with this anymore?
no, because winning, that's what comes with it. And me and Rocco just had a conversation. I said that's the way it is each and every day at Florida when we coach there. But that's what happens when you start building tradition. And that's what we're trying to build here within the program. And you start winning, then the standard is raised. But it's great. You want to raise the standard. And that's what you want to be a part of. You want to be in those conversations. I'd rather be in those conversations than be sitting there saying, "Oh my God, you're just not a very good team, and how do you expect y'all going to play this week?" I'd rather be sitting where I'm at right now.
Is there an advantage that still people don't believe that maybe the guys, to some degree, say, heck with them, we're going to show them that kind of thing, and actually know what your advantage?
Oh, it does, because what happens now is that it's almost like you're not good enough. And I told him, and I said, yes, a lot of you have been told you're not good enough. A lot of you had to overcome adversity in your life. So it's just, here's another step for you. So the only thing we need to do is just continue to improve and get better and not give them what they want. I said, if we don't go prepare the right way, we slip up and then fall on our face, then everybody will say, I told you so.
What made the pass rush so effective Thursday night?
Well, what we do is we're going to bring a lot of pressure, and we'll pressure a team. And I felt like this with Marcus and Malden, we could win with 4 down. And because all year long they've been doing an unbelievable job, so those guys were able to get the pressure off the edge and made the quarterback step up. Once he stepped up, then we had a good enough push inside.
Was it just a matchup thing, or are they actually getting better game to game to game?
No, it's all about getting better because we don't look for matchups because, we're not ever trying to single out a lineman and say, hey, go rush over this guy. It's about them just getting better and better. And you get a team in 3rd down. If you get a team in 3rd down, you're able to bring pressure and you're able to take your defense and see if we can operate it and get things down the way we want it.
What's his status for this week?
Kai is similar to Devontae, and Kai has a growing problem. What we're going to do is he's going to probably rest today, and then it's going to be day by day. And if we can have him out there on Friday, then he's going to be able to play.
You've gotten a lot of production in both of your defensive ends. Can you talk a little bit about the differences in them stylistically,
Well, when you look at those two guys, Malden is 100 miles an hour every day from practice to game. He doesn't change, and the guys don't like going against him because it's just the way he is. You know, we go through practice, we can have a walkthrough, and you can just count on him just going to go just full speed blasting through it. But and the thing about him, it's all speed with him, and you watch his first sack. He beats the guy outside and he dips, and then he's able to catch the quarterback by the ankles. Whereas Marcus is so athletic and he can do so many things. And the thing he can do is he can go speed with power. And so they're different in that, you know, with Malden, you're going to get the speed off the edge, and the quarterback's going to step up because he's going to force you to step up. Whereas Marcus he's playing to the backside, so it's almost playing a cat and mouse game where I know Malden's going to make the guy step up, so I'm going to beat the guy with an underneath move, a counter move, then I'm going to get the sack. But I'm playing off of him.
Does Marcus have a moped?
Marcus does not have a moped, and Malden no longer has a moped. All right, so we're out of the moped business.
So is that ever for your offense? I mean, with that and all that, but your defense has really, to some degree, made dramatic strides. What are some of the reasons why over the last year or two?
What defensively is you have to build, and I always talk about you have to build down the middle, and that's what we've been able to do. Because if you take Brandon Dunn's a 4-year starter for us, and then Preston Brown's a 4-year starter, but those guys were young as we were building the defense, and now they've grown up and they've grown into the defense. And then you take a Calvin Pryor, so you're good right down the middle, and then just on the outside with Marcus and Malden, you have two guys outside that can create pressure on the quarterback where we don't have to blitz as much. And then you have an athletic backer like Burgess. You saw him the other night get the interception. I sometimes look at Burgess and I say he's a guy that he's aggressive enough where you have to keep him covered up because he's one of those guys you want to see him run and hit and never allow a lineman to get to the second level on him because he's not big enough. You know, he can't come off of it. But Preston's a big backer who can sit down on him and go take on a blow and go and attack the line of scrimmage. And the corner position right now with Gaines and Floyd, they're playing very well. And Akeem is as solid as he's ever been. So just you look at us on defense, you have a lot of guys, you know, when I talk about Akeem who has a number of starts under him. Now we're Fidline playing the way he's playing with Brandon Dunn, but these guys are all playing off of one another, and it's like they have built just a good camaraderie of being a good teammate where they really like each other. And so now that when you get a bunch of guys who really like each other and doesn't care who's really getting the glory, because I think that this week, Pryor's Defensive Player of the Week, I think Malden's, you know, on our defense, different guys each week have been the players of the week, but it's almost like, you know, they're happy to see one another get it done. If it isn't them, they're happy to see someone else.
Coach, with that said, I know you have high expectations for all your guys, but do you think maybe this defense has exceeded expectations this year, your expectations?
No, I don't think they have, because last year we were kind of upset because we didn't play well and probably could have played a lot better than what we did. But, you know, 6 games into it, we played pretty good, and we can improve. We could have played a lot better. You know, you look at some of those thirds down, we had 8 sacks. We let 4 get away from us. And you like to see us do more. And then even in the Temple game, we had opportunities to get our hands on the ball and get it and get sacks. But we can always get – and you're always looking to get better. And these guys understand it. It's not like where they felt like now they've reached a level where they have leveled off. That's not going to happen. We're going to continue to get better and better and better.
You've sent a lot of guys to that next level. You look at your roster, how many next level guys do you have?
I know the exact number I don't know, but we have some guys who can play on that next level, and that's what they want to do, and that's why as a coaching staff, I tell our coaches all the time, it's our job to get them prepared for that next level and to coach them hard and make sure that, you know, given that opportunity with that athletic ability, we should have some.
Are there any guys here that maybe weren't there, but you've seen them progress so much where you go, wow, I mean, he can play in the NFL?
Well, Marcus Smith is a guy I think about with the year he's having and how well he's playing and just how athletic he is. He, you know, in the beginning you never thought that from him, but now he's developing and have come on, and you know, you look at him now and say, you know, he may have a chance.
In terms of Bortles versus, you know, what you went against last week, what challenges does he present? And he's a Florida kid. Do you remember him when he was in high school?
Yes, Bortles went to Oviedo High School, and him and Driscoll actually came out together. He was actually at the school where Driscoll was, and Driscoll was a quarterback, so he ended up transferring over to Oviedo, and, you know, that school's probably 10 miles apart, but Driscoll was the one that everyone recruited. But, you know, he's a young man that doesn't get rattled at all, and, you know, I think I just look at his whole demeanor in the Penn State game, you know, in front of that tough crowd and how well he played. So he's going to be one, when he comes in here, he won't be shaken, and he does a great job of just managing their offense and gets them in the right place. And he's not afraid to pull the ball down and take off running with it. Whereas with Nova, we can keep him in the pocket. With the thing that Bortles do, he can make the throws, and he does a really strong arm and a great presence in the pocket.
They do have, the win at Penn State, close game against South Carolina, but because I guess they're in this conference, people don't talk about them. As you watch them on this, can you quantify, how good is that football?
I think they're a really good football team, and it's similar to us, a very solid team. And because I look at them on offense, they have a quarterback, we have a quarterback, receivers. And the thing they have is a lot of those players are similar to our kids. They're from the state of Florida, so those with Teddy and them, they're going to be familiar with because a lot of them are to their teammates from high school. So the matchups are going to be fun. There'll probably be a lot of talking because they know one another. And defensively, we're probably a little more aggressive than they are on defense, but they're solid. They're gap sound, and they're not going to make mistakes on defense to give up the big home run play. They're going to keep everything in front of them, tackle the ball, and go play the next down. And special teams are very solid.
How much did you guys consider Marcus as a quarterback?
Well, what happened was Marcus, in high school, he was a quarterback. So when he went to all these camps, he played quarterback. So when I got the job here, I called him up and I said, "You can come and play quarterback, and I'll leave you a quarterback here." Till he started getting big, then I ended up moving him. But he came, and I think that maybe, the first 3 or 4 days he was a quarterback, and then we moved him to linebacker. Then he outgrew the linebacker position, and then I just kept moving him closer. He closer to that line of scrimmage. Now he's able to put his hand down. But the thing you always liked about him is he never fought it. A lot of times if a guy's a quarterback and you tell him he's got to move the defense, they kind of look at you wrong, like, no, I'm not moving the defense. I just stay over here, either go play tight end or play somewhere else over here on offense. But he never fought it at all. And but that's why you like him. He's such an unselfish player that, he said, "Coach, wherever I can help you, I'll help you. Wherever you want me to play, I'll do it."
Did you project that progression in your mind? Did you think that this is a guy who's going to end up on the defensive line?
Yeah, because of his dad. I looked at his dad's a big man, so as you said, at some point he's going to fill out and get not maybe as large as his father, but he will eventually grow and put on weight. And I think at that time he was probably like 6'4", 220. So you just, hey, once he get in the weight room, never lifted weights. So once we get him in the weight room, he's going to get bigger, and then we'll just keep we'll move him to closer to the line of scrimmage.
Defensive end or just line in general?
I just thought an outside linebacker position, and because that's probably what he is, because he's a guy that can drop into coverage, and then he can one of those guys off the edge who can rush, a really good 3-4 backer.
How many former quarterbacks do you have? I know
Pryor was a quarterback. Marcus is a quarterback. Let me tell you guys on defense. Dominique Brown was a quarterback. He's a running back, but Zeke Pike was a quarterback. They all think that, in high school they're all quarterbacks. But you put your best player quarterback in high school, and then you end up moving them. But once they get to college, but we've had some guys, and I want to say like Robert Clark may have been a quarterback in high school at some point because he was so fast and quick.
The way Coach Bedford told the story was that when Marcus came in, he said he couldn't hit the wall. He said,
Oh, he couldn't.
"Do you remember that?"
Oh, yeah, he couldn't throw the ball now. I mean, he had a strong arm. He didn't know where it was going. His arm was strong enough. You just didn't know, if it was going to hit, where it was going to hit. It was going to hit something, but you just didn't know what.
You used him on those fake field goals. Could we ever see goal line, big package, wild card?
Oh, no. We don't want. We have enough guys on offense now. But I didn't have the guys, yes. But if we had a tight end issue like we did last year. Even last year we talked about that, using him sometimes in the tight end position, but we didn't have to just because it was, we was able to move. Gerald wasn't here at the time, but we moved B.J. Butler at the time.
Calvin was sort of an option for him?
Yeah, you know what Calvin was, and Marcus is the same way. They were really good basketball players too. Like Calvin can really play basketball, and he was baseball. He's a really good athlete from Port St. Joe, little town there in Florida. But he was a tremendous athlete, and I watched him play basketball one night, and he didn't score many points, but he shot the ball enough. I said, "Wow, man! If you could add up those shots with points, you'd be pretty good." But he's like, "Oh, you just came on an off night." I said, really. But no, you look at, and I tell you what else, Kai Dominguez. Kai played a little quarterback in high school. Kai De La Cruz, not Dominguez, De La Cruz, yes.
In front of 26 scouts, for Calvin to have the game he did, what did he do for his future?
They took notice, and that's the only thing you can ask is guys just go out and perform. And when I think a lot of them, when they found out that many scouts were there, everybody on defense wanted to play well. But it's it was great. It was good to have that large number of scouts here and had a chance to see our players and what they had a chance to see them close, and they was up close and to watch them go play and compete.
When you have those scouts, do any of them come up to you that maybe were there 4 years ago or didn't show up 4 years ago, and what do they say to you about what you're building?
I think one guy, and he's been, what's Jake's last name? He's from, he actually coached at Kentucky at one time, but he was telling me, he said, we come here 4 years ago and there was nobody here. I think at that time we had some guys because we had Stingley, we had Belial, and we had Johnny Patrick, but we had a bunch of seniors. But then he said to see it 4 years later down, you see a program that's really developed, and they like coming in here because our people, our personnel do a great job of taking care of them and giving them everything that they need. There's nothing to hide. I tell them all the time, we have nothing to hide. If you ask a question, you get it answered. If we think a guy can play, we're going to tell you he can play.
You're not putting them in a hole, a football field away? Like
No, they can walk. They can come to practice. They walk around practice. They have a chance to see our guys. But I want them to see it because when if they have an opportunity to go on that next level, you want to see what you're getting.
Charlie, the polls this week show a little disconnect. The coaches have you 6th, the AP has 8th. Do you think coaches look at it differently? Are they less likely to move a team ahead of an undefeated team that has a loss?
Well, I think that what coaches do is they just look at the overall picture because they're going to know what a team has, and they probably had a chance to watch their team play, and they know what they're really looking for. Because you look at a team, you say, okay, I take our team. I think we're a really good team on offense. We're a team that can play defense. You look at a lot of teams, they don't play good defense. But we can play defense. We can play, we're good enough on offense, and we're good in the special teams. So we're all three phases. How many teams are like that out there in the country? I don't know, but I think we're one of the very few. And that's what I think the coaches look at is they just look at, here's a team sitting there. Doesn't matter, and a lot of times you got to take into account it doesn't matter who you play. It's all about getting them prepared to go play, because you can go play somebody bad and you go out there and you can go out there and just mess around. You go get beat too, and that's what we don't want to happen to us.
Does it bother you if a one-loss team or even a two-loss team moves ahead of you in the poll?
No, because what I told those guys is we're 6 or 7 weeks into it. Just keep playing, guys. If it's meant to be for us, it's going to happen for us, and it's going to fall the right way. There's a lot of those teams above us going to have to go play, so we just need to take care of our business and just keep playing and getting better and better.
How worried are you about the red zone offense, especially if you don't get Devontae back?
Well, the biggest, I don't know if I'm that concerned because even last week we turned a guy loose and he hits Teddy in the back. If he doesn't hit Teddy, Gerald Christian is standing wide open and Teddy's going to release it to him because he is wide open. There's no one there. And we can get scores. You look at the move that Eli made him back and he came back underneath. I think the one Teddy got away from him, we was talking about is one he threw outside to Cope and the ball sailed on, but Cope had the guy beat. So we can generate scores down there. And you like Devontae because Devontae's special. He's a special player when it comes to the red zone. But we have enough where we can go score.
Offensively, the line, the left side, that right side, though, guys kind of keep going in and out. I guess Mac, first of all, was he injured or was that?
Mac cramped up, but you look at it as Mac, Acosta, and Garcia on that side.
And then Jory was in there. So, is
Right.
it kind of by committee right now?
No, what we do is Mac is starting there, and then it's either Georgia or Acosta at the guard, and we had Garcia starting at the guard before he ended up hurting his knee in the Temple game, but he's back, so we'll get that solidified there. But we have 7 guys, so we're just going to rotate 7, so wherever something happens, and we can always piece one of those guys in.
For all the talk about how big of a stadium the opportunity last week was and the reaction to it, is this even bigger?
Well, this game, because it's the next one, and then we had the stage. Now you have a stage again on a Friday night, and you have a team that everyone says is a really good football team. Two good teams getting ready to match up against each other. Us in Central Florida. The thing Central Florida bring into it, they were able to go to Penn State and win on the road in Happy Valley. So you look at, and then they played South Carolina close. So everybody sees what they've done, and they see the record. So now they're saying, okay, this is going to be a really good matchup. Which it should be, and I expect it to be. Really good, solid matchup.
You ever think about calling up Chris Peterson and being like, how do you deal with this?
Well, no, I think that we're a little different than what Peterson, what Boise dealt with is, at least if we win our conference, we're BCS, so we have a bid. Whereas with him, you think about they had to continue, they had to win to even get in the picture. Whereas with us, we have, go win your conference, you're gonna get a BCS bid.
What specifically about Pryor has developed and what he was able to do last week?
Well, Pryor, my nickname for him is linebacker because he wants to play close to the line of scrimmage, and he thinks he's a linebacker, but he's so aggressive, and he can play the ball in the air. You look at that interception that he made. I thought T. Floyd was going to turn around and catch it, and Pryor cuts right in front of him, intercepts the ball on our sideline. But he's developed his game so much, but he's a student of the game. He studies the game. A lot of times when guys study the game, they become really good football players, and that's what Pryor's been able to do.
How excited were you after that interception?
Oh, when I jumped, I just didn't want to pop an Achilles. That's all I could imagine. Me falling down, grabbing the Achilles. Like, oh, please don't let that happen. I would have had to fake the injury till after the game too. I did. I don't know what kind of ups I got. I think I get up a little.
Is there a chest bump there?
Yeah, a little chest bump, but I was up above him.
When you were playing, which one of these, were you Pryor or Marcus Smith? Which one?
No, I was Pryor. That's why I call him linebacker, because I like his game. And Pryor's an exciting player. I really like watching him play. But I like watching our whole defense play right now because they're playing so well. And you're watching, it's the energy. And then once our crowd gets behind them on third down and they get the crowd into the stadium, it really gets revved up. And that's what's fun. Because our fans right now are unbelievable. That atmosphere the other night was just truly amazing, and just the energy that's into it, and our fans are so into it, and our players got juiced up, and the whole stadium was electrified. But that's what you want to see here. You want to see those type of games, and you want to see that type of atmosphere, which is great. And it's not only great for the players, but everyone involved.
The ESPN guys kept talking about Calvin as the guy who making big hits, but doing them legally under the new rules. He's particularly good at that.
Because I think the one lick they're talking about is in Temple. It was a shoulder, and that's what he has yet to lead with his head, and he doesn't lead with his head. I mean, it's all shoulders with him, but our guys understand that because we don't want one to ever be disqualified from a game because of an illegal hit, and that's not our intentions at all to put someone in jeopardy. We want to make sure that it's safe and everything we do is safe within the rules.
Charlie, when the season starts, there's so much focus on Teddy, and here you are halfway through leading the country in scoring defense. Would you have thought that possible when the season started?
No, you know what? I would not have thought that because I just didn't. You know what happens because when you put it all together and you're looking at your defense, you knew you had a chance to be pretty good, but how good we didn't know. And so I think back, and then I started looking at, I said if our front seven is going to be good. I thought our front seven would be good because I said, okay, if Marcus and Malden play well, it would be done, and then with Phylon holding it down in the middle. But then I end up losing Brooks and D'Angelo. So then I lose two big linemen who was the big cog for me inside. So we lost some depth there. And I was like, oh, my goodness. So now we got to replace those two guys. And then Keith Brown at backer, he felt like that he's very athletic. But with Preston, I knew Preston needed to have a good year for us. And he has so far. I said, you need to take the Sugar Bowl win and then apply it to this season. I want you to take it and just, because he played unbelievable in that game, and I said, I want to see that Preston Brown. I don't want to see the Preston Brown those previous games. I want to see him this season. And Preston and Burgess done well. And then in secondary, those two safeties have done good. I didn't know if we could hold up at corner with T. Floyd in the other corner. I didn't know if we could hold up. But those safeties has really helped us. But I never thought our defense would be playing at the level that they're playing at right now.
You run undefeated this time last year and a few games deeper. Is this team playing at a significantly higher level than last year?
We're playing at a significant higher level than last year because if you look at it, you're right. This time, a year ago, but we weren't playing good we was playing good on offense, and that was it. But defensively, we weren't playing good. In the kicking game, we weren't playing good. So the offense was kind of carrying us. What's happening this season is all three phases are playing together. And so even if one phase isn't playing together, the other phase can pick you up. And that's what's been great about it because, I know we're just 6 into it, and we want to continue to get better and continue to improve. But even our players know now when they play bad, like they know they played bad. You don't even have to say much to them. Like now they have that where there's accountability and a responsibility, and they understand it now.
Were you they were what, third, I think Rush was third in kickoff rate right now. Were you happy with what John did as far as that little boost kick or however you call that?
Yeah, we were not going to allow them to return that kickoff on us, and then that's what I told during the week. I said we're going to take the ball, and then I told him, I said we're just going to kick it, and we're going to bloop it and make sure that they can run underneath it. But the guy who was unbelievable was Sonoris Perry. Sonoris is our starting tailback, and he runs down on every kickoff, and he makes every tackle. And the first one he made, he was offsides, but he made it. Then the second one, he runs back down there, and we make him fair catch it. But we were not going to, and they had no chance to get started because you're on top of the kick, so you sky kick it. So you try to kick it, and I said to Wallace, which way do you kick it the best? And he said, to my right. I said, it's where we'll kick it every time. Then let them, they'll figure it out. Even if they figure it out, they ain't going to have time to block us because we're going to be down there so quick.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Uh-huh.
After
All right.